No, just two. I was crazy.
What's up, guys? Today's guest is a professional stuntman and world-renowned freerunner. Please welcome to the Jamcast, Mr. Erik Mukhametshin.
What up?
What's up, man? So this is very funny, and Paul will know this. Before every episode starts, I always ask the guest how to pronounce their name properly. Oh. But I didn't ask you because I guessed I've probably been saying it wrong for like a decade of announcing you at events. So on camera, so everyone can hear properly, how do you say your name correctly?
It's Erik Mukhametshin.
So I did it right.
Yeah.
I'll be 100% honest though. The first couple competitions you went to, I definitely said Mukhametshin and
but the thing is, I couldn't speak English back then, so I just didn't even understand it. I was like, yeah, that's me, good enough.
And not only that, I feel like half the people would just give me a paper with it spelled wrong, and they're like, I'm like, that's not even correct, but I'm gonna go with it because I'm here, man. And that's so funny, man. So I'm glad that I got it right now after all these years, man.
Well done.
Yeah, welcome back. You just
thank you.
You were out of town for some time, right?
Yeah. So I went to France for a competition, and I had my flight back in 3 days or something.
Because we were gonna do a Jamcast.
Yeah, I know. I promised you to come here, but yeah. So while that competition, my knee got infected out of nowhere, and then he got really infected, so I had to stay in Europe because even when I went to the medical center at the airport, they said that it's dangerous for me to fly that far away.
Wow.
I might have a blood clot and my heart might stop or something like that.
So what kind of infection was it? Did you have a cut on it, or was it
so
just
basically there was a little spot in my knee. I was like, what the hell is that? Just squeezed it.
Okay.
And then during the competition, like, I did like a Kong, and then I put too much power into it, and I hit the bar with my shoulder, and then I landed on the floor and like scratched my knee a bit, like not much, you know, when you just like
just a normal scratch.
Just a normal scratch, like I guess it was dusty enough to make it infected, you know.
No way.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
Is that the first time you've ever had something like that?
No, because recently I also had my finger infected out of nowhere too. I never ever get infected, never ever. Usually like I get cuts on my hands, and then if I want to keep training, I just put my hands into dirt. I'm like, okay, that's too slippery, just put it in the dirt and just keep training, you know what I mean? Usually it's always fine, but then that finger got infected out of nowhere, and then this knee, and it happened it happened this year, like both of the infections.
You know what my theory is that you've been spending too much time in America and your Russian immune system got weak.
Oh yeah, I think that what happens to me. Yeah,
your body came here and got weak. It's like, we're not used to this weak ass American stuff.
The doctor said that I probably overtrained, which I definitely did, because I was working out 4 times a day, plus I was filming my Instagram videos and stuff.
Way.
So I've been training like non-stop.
Holy crap.
Till the competition.
Okay. Dude, well, that's definitely something I want to talk on too, is your insane work ethic and training. So like, yeah, let's just jump right into it, man. I mean, one of the things that you're known for is the incredible tricks and moves that you throw. But also, to me, you're also well known for like the imposing figure that you are. Like, how tall are you? Do you know in inches and feet, or do you only know?
So it's I think 6'1".
6'1".
I believe.
How much do you weigh? Do you know in pounds or stones?
190 something.
It's pretty big. Okay.
Yeah.
So 190 pounds. And have you always been this size?
Yeah, like almost all my life. So basically till I was 16 years old.
Yes.
I was the smallest in my school or wherever, everywhere. And then something happened when I was 17. I think I grew like half a meter or something.
No way.
I was like, what the hell?
But only when you're 17.
Yeah.
Wow, that's even later than me. And I thought I had a late growth spurt. That's
for me it was 17. Yeah, it's crazy.
I
was always big though. Like I was always really heavy and always really big, like strong. I mean.
Are your parents tall or?
My grandpa is really tall.
Okay.
My father is really short. My mother is pretty short too compared to me.
Wow.
But my brother is actually taller than me, like a tiny bit.
And is he older or younger?
He's younger.
Okay. Wow, that's wild, man. And so you said that you were always kind of big. Was that just like naturally big, or had you always been obsessed with training?
No, I was obsessed with training.
Okay, so
always.
when did this training journey start, and what was the first thing you did? Was it something before parkour?
It was a flip, to be honest. So it's a crazy story, and people just don't believe me. But
that's what we're here for.
That's what it is. Yeah. So I was 2 years old. My mom decided to bring me to judo classes, not to do judo, just because she was a friend with the coach. So she brought me there just to have fun, like do some rolls on the mats or something like that. So I went there and I saw some people doing like handsprings, backflips on like mats. They had loads of mats. So I was like, whoa, I tried, and then here I am.
No.
How many years later, bro?
Dude, that's
just
crazy.
never stopped. Then
That's crazy.
I think, yeah, when I was 9, I really wanted to learn how to swim because I couldn't till I was 9, which is like really late for some reason. And then I learned how to swim, and then the next day I jumped from the bridge that was 20 meters, and it's like a lot.
Wait, so the day after you learned how to swim,
yeah. Because I wanted, so I learned how to swim,
yes.
just because I wanted to jump from that bridge. That was my dream. I was like, I want to jump. Every time I stood there, I wasn't scared to jump, but I just knew I can't swim.
You couldn't swim.
I was
so
like,
as soon as you went to swim, and were you good at swimming after a day, or you were just good enough?
No,
you
I
weren't
was just
drown?
good enough to make it try. I wasn't good at all.
Oh my god!
That even people down there, they had to help me because
you couldn't swim.
Yeah, because the river was pretty fast.
Oh, so there's a current.
Couldn't swim fast enough, so they had to help me. I was like, oh my god.
And how old are you at this age? You're 9.
No, I was 9.
Oh my god!
And then by the time I was 11, I did all the doubles you can imagine into the water from about, I don't know, 7 meters bridge.
And how were you learning this? Did you have a gymnastics teacher, a background, or you just
I'm
sending
the
it?
teacher, bro.
Wow.
So I did myself.
Have you
everything.
ever taken a class?
No, just martial arts classes. That's it.
No way. Holy crap. Okay. And what martial arts did you do? Because I didn't know you did martial arts.
Oh, whoa. I did Taekwondo. I have a black belt.
What? You have a black belt in Taekwondo? No way.
Yeah, Taekwondo. I did kickboxing, Thai boxing. Well, okay. I didn't really do it for too long.
Yeah, yeah.
So kickboxing was a funny one.
Okay.
Because, so I did Taekwondo for about 10 years, I believe.
Okay.
And then after that, I didn't really train. But I also fought many times in the street, like every day pretty much. So I was good at fighting every time. And then one friend invited me to go to kickboxing classes. And I was like, oh, cool. Yeah, I'll go. So I went there. And they were like, oh, are you good enough to like spar? I was like, yeah, I love sparring. Can I spar someone really good? They're like, yeah, this dude, he's the best. I'm like, okay. So I beat that guy up, and they were like, what the hell? They're expecting that guy to just like destroy me completely, but that didn't happen. And they're like, you know what? We're having a competition tomorrow. Do you reckon you can fight for our school? I was like, fuck yeah. No. So I went to that competition and I won it, bro. You know, it's funny. I had to ask the judge, like, can you quickly tell me the rules? What can I do? And what I
you
can't?
never competed.
I just never competed. I didn't know shit. I was like, all right.
And it was a Taekwondo competition.
No, that was kickboxing.
Kickboxing.
Yeah, so I went there, won it.
No way, dude.
Yep. And then the same thing happened with Thai? No, not Thai boxing. What's that? Some other fucking martial art.
No way.
I just went to the competition and asked if I can compete, and then I had to put like a little bit of money, so I did, and I won that one too. And I still have the papers and shit with my name, with my grumpy face on it and stuff. It's so funny.
These poor kids have been training for years and years and years and months and getting ready, and then you just killed it. So when do you officially start doing parkour? Is there a year or a date in your mind? Do you remember how old you were when you started?
I don't remember. So as I said, when I did that flip when I was 2, I kind of never stopped after that.
You just got
so I just kept training, and then I saw Yamakasi, but back then I already was doing like
you already doing flips in the water,
flips and everything. But I also was flipping over. So because we were playing, what's that, tug? I was playing game forever, bro, and it was always the best. I was always playing against like older people every time because I wasn't hanging out with people my age for some reason.
Okay.
I was just always hanging out with people like 10 years older and stuff like that. So it was just always the best, and I could never give up. Even when I was like really in a really dangerous situation, I shouldn't be jumping from that high or anything like that. But I was like, no, I can't lose.
You're trying to be the ultimate tag player. Holy
Every
crap,
time,
man.
bro.
All right, well, if you can't remember the exact date that you started, I do remember the first time that I saw you. And this isn't the first video you put out, but this is the video that I remember the world saw you at, which is, can you look at 2010, the one that started it? This is the video that I remember seeing over here in America, and this is the one that kind of like got a lot of attention. And it's the one that starts with the news clip.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Of course I do.
Yeah, so for those of you out there that are listening to the audio, please go hop onto our YouTube account and watch it, or look up his name and look up 2010. And this is the video that kind of went viral in the parkour community that kind of got of attention. And it was all because of this giant roof gap. So what was this roof gap for, man? And how high was it?
It was really high.
It was really high.
You see that friend that sits next to me?
Yeah.
So that's how it happened. We were in a taxi.
Okay.
Driving past that place. And he goes, look, we can jump there. And I just turned around and I said, yeah. And he's like, all right, let's do it. And I thought he was joking. I didn't really look at it properly. I was like, yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
And he goes, like, he thought for a few minutes, like, properly. And he goes, right, we need to find keys and stuff like that. So I realized that he was serious. I was like, you actually want to jump there? He's like,
He
yeah.
really wants
I was
to
like,
jump
all right. So the same day we went there, we had to open the door, which works like that in Russia. You just take the door and you just pull it as hard as
Russian
you can.
keys.
Yeah, you don't need the keys. So we went up, we saw the gap. The gap wasn't that big because of the height difference.
Yeah.
It was really high.
The height difference
The height difference was huge, yeah. So we're like, all right, we definitely need some mats, otherwise we both will die because it's concrete. So we asked a guy if he can get like some keys and like some mats on top of there, and he goes, we can bring some news if you want. Like, we were like, all right, I guess you can do it, we don't really care.
What?
And then boom, that happened.
This stuff would not happen in America,
I
dog.
know.
You cannot climb a building, break in, and then be like, oh, can we put some mats here? Like, dude, they will arrest you.
Well, another thing we did as well, which I never told to anyone, we had to, because the roof that we were jumping from was open,
Yeah.
but the other roof was shut. So we had to come there with like clippers, so I don't really know what you call that.
Yeah, like lock
clip
cutters.
the lock.
No way.
And then
to get down
to
once
get-
you
to
land.
get down.
Yo, so how old are you when this happens? Do you remember how old you are?
I think I was 19 or 20.
Wow. Okay.
19. But I wasn't in a really good shape. So back then I was training like 12 hours a day sometimes. But like working out like 1 to 2 hours a day and then just like flipping nonstop or like jumping around the city and stuff like that.
Did anyone else jump it or just you?
Me and that friend, because
so
he
he
was supposed
he
to be
did it,
first.
though.
But yeah, he did it. But then
Okay.
the thing is, both of us weren't planning on just jumping. Me and him wanted to flip. I wanted to do a front flip. He wanted to do some like, I don't really know
Oh,
what
hell
you
no.
call that. So that what happened. We went there, and because those news guys, they were there and they were just asking us, "Are you ready to die?" And I was like, "Yo, dude, you're standing with me on the
Yeah,
roof,
why are you
asking me
asking
if
that?
I'm ready to die. Are you ready to die? I'll push you off right now."
Exactly.
I was
You
so
bastard.
pissed. I was really angry, like super
Yeah.
angry. It pissed me off. And then that dude was supposed to be jumping first, but then I don't know, something happened. He got really scared or something, but just like maybe mentally fucked. But
Yeah,
because
just for a second,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. And he's like, "Oh, I can't jump." I was like, "All right, if you don't want to flip, we can just jump. They want to just jump?" He's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "All right, let's go and jump." And then he still couldn't. I was like, "I can jump right now. Like I can jump
You're
first
ready
if you
to
want."
jump it, yeah.
So yeah, and then I went and jumped. But then you know what's bad? You see those mats, right? It seems like it's super soft and stuff like that. It wasn't. I had like, you know when you land on concrete and hit concrete really hard, you have
Get
like
the little rocks.
yeah, you have, so that's what I had through the mats, because I only
Through
had
the
two layers.
mats?
I had only 2 layers of like those thin mats, like the blue mats.
Wait, how thick are the mats?
Like this thing.
What?
2 of those, bro. 2 of those, and they're super soft. They're super squishy. They're not like.
Yeah, you're talking like 2 inches. You're not talking
Yeah.
about 8
No,
inches.
no. Just 2. I was crazy. I was like, the part where I did my roll to, I think that was like 1 even.
What are you
Look,
thinking?
you see. Oh, okay.
Oh
2.
my
This is only 1
God.
layer. You see it?
Oh, you're right though. They're tiny mats.
I know.
I thought they were 8 inches this
No.
whole time.
And then so I landed, and the amount of impact I got, I was like, "Oh my god!" And then my friend was asking, "How was it?" And I couldn't, because they were filming it. I couldn't say, "Yo, I never got as much impact as I just did now." I was like, "All right," you know. I was just like, "Oh my god, how can I tell him that was fucked up?" You know what happened? I was working out. I was super strong. My legs, my arms were super strong. But after that jump, I got so much impact that my arms, I couldn't lift a bottle because I was super tired. So I got really
No
tense. Like I got
way.
like
All the
like,
blood just
yeah,
shot through.
just shot there. It was crazy.
So you couldn't tell your friend the truth.
Yeah.
So you're like, it's good.
Yeah. And then he jumped and almost died. That was so upsetting, bro. He almost died.
What happened with his? What went wrong?
So what happened with mine?
Oh, I'm dying
You see what I did? You can see how like unstable I was flying
Yeah,
down.
yeah.
But because I knew if I jump up and then like bring my knees towards me, I'll just die, because I would jump up and then go straight down.
Yeah,
So I was
yeah.
like, oh, the difference, the distance wasn't that big, so I have to just like step down and I'll make it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But then I
yeah,
needed
I
that
got
energy
you.
into the roll. So I was like, oh, I'll just step down. So I literally just stepped down like that. Like I
Wow,
pushed
but
myself
then you
forward.
do this, yeah.
Yeah, because I
slow it
literally
down.
brought my chest super forward. You know what I mean?
My
But then I had
God.
energy to go into the roll, so I was fine. But he didn't, because he jumped up and he went down, bangs, and he didn't do any rolls. He just went and just died, hit himself, and he bounced up on concrete, bro. Like I thought, oh my God, he's dead. Like. He's not gonna survive this jump.
what happened to him?
He was kind of fine, but his knee was fucked for like 2 weeks or something.
Only 2 weeks is pretty good for that, dude.
Yeah, I know. I thought he was dead.
That's crazy. He basically bounced off concrete like a trampoline.
Yeah.
But it was concrete.
Yeah.
Dude. Yo, that is crazy, man. So, so did you only do it once?
Yeah,
Okay.
I actually, so I wanted to do it again, and I wanted to flip it because I always wanted to flip that
Yeah,
gap, like
yeah.
because it's not, I don't know, like flipping is me, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, flipping is what I want to do.
Okay.
But then I wanted someone to pay me a lot of money for that. But I just-
Smart man.
Yeah, I
know your worth, man.
because this was for free, bro. I don't really know what I did that. That was so
Yo,
stupid.
It's a good lesson to all the kids out there, you know? Like, do some stuff, but then definitely know your worth, you
Yeah.
know? And yeah, that's
Yeah.
amazing, bro. I can't even believe that, dude. So that's 2010. And then shortly after this, I feel like is kind of where you got a lot of attention in the community.
Yeah,
And then you
well-
kind of started doing like, I don't know if you got invited or not, but then I started seeing you at a lot of bigger competitions outside of just Russia. Like
Oh,
I
yeah,
started
you mean
seeing you
like
on the
Red Bull and
world
stuff?
stage. Yeah, exactly.
I was invited to Red Bull a couple of times. I just couldn't make it because of my visa and stuff. Like, I've been known before this video actually.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
No,
not,
I know.
not as much.
I
but
know what you mean.
definitely
Yeah,
was.
that's probably the video though that like us in America saw,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
like it went really crazy. You know, we were kind of like, who is jumping off these fucking buildings? You know? Oh, that's really funny, man. So at that point in your life, like you said, you kind of touched on it. You're training 12 hours a day.
Yeah.
So what
Sometimes.
did your normal day consist of? Like walk us through it, because I feel like a lot of kids would want to know how you got to this level, and so this is probably an important part of your journey. So
Yeah. So back then it wasn't like. So I've been working out since I was 7.
like
every day.
weightlifting or just working out in general, like pushing
Working out in general, just
Okay.
because weightlifting makes me really big. Like my body wants to be super big, so when I do weightlifting, especially like heavy weights, I'm just getting huge.
So you have to try not to
I
get
have
big.
to try not to get big, so I have to run and stuff like that. Yo, I wish I had your problem.
I know, right?
wish,
Yeah,
bro. Like I get fat so easily. I'm fat right now.
Oh, I get you. So your body goes big either
Yeah.
way, though. So you
Yeah,
have to
yeah,
keep
yeah.
the muscle.
So
Okay,
it's
okay, I'll
hard.
give you
It's
that.
hard. So I have to like run and stuff like that.
Okay,
and I
okay.
hate running.
Okay.
So lately I started loving it, but all my life I hated it.
Damn. Okay.
And I've been waking up at 5 in the morning and going for a run with like older friends and stuff.
That's great. So what are you doing back then as a kid then? Like what does your day consist of? Walk us through it. What do you do? You wake up, what do you do?
When I was super young,
Yeah.
yo, it was crazy. Like I feel like now I don't even have as much time as I used to have back then.
Yeah,
Because,
for
so I
reals.
used to wake up at 5 in the morning, go for a run, like train, like stretch, do some like kicks and stuff like that with my
Okay.
friend, and then come back, go to that river that I was talking about, the one where I jumped from 20 meters.
Yes.
So go there, spend there like it seemed like it was whole day, but then after that I could just go to my martial art class,
Okay.
like taekwondo or like whatever I was doing back then, and then go and have fun with my friends, and it's just I don't know, it's crazy.
You could do a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
You're right.
and right now I just can't. Like right now I'm like, oh, what are you doing today? I'm like, oh, I'm just doing Jump podcast.
Yeah.
So that's it. That's the whole day for me. You know what I mean? That's crazy. And I don't know why.
It's
Like,
crazy
I
how
probably will
things
have
change.
a little bit of time to do like some
Yeah.
working out. That's it. Like
Things change so much.
I
It's
know.
crazy. All right. So then, what did your training consist of back then? Because I feel like a lot of kids would want to know like what you're doing. So you did a little taekwondo, but what other stuff were you doing?
So when that video came out,
Yeah.
I mostly was actually training freerunning stuff, just
Okay.
because I just got really into it, and that was like the best time for me. I just loved it so much. So it was mostly scouting the locations and doing some crazy tricks and just training and filming.
Okay. So you just go out all
Yeah,
day.
go out all day,
Wow.
train, then find like after it gets dark, you just go have food and then go and work out or something else, and then stretch.
That's wild.
Yeah,
Man.
that's why I'm still alive, by the way. That's because I'm like working out and stretching. I really believe that. Like if I wasn't doing that, that wouldn't be possible. Like I've been doing it for for over 20 years, bro.
100%,
20 years.
yeah, no.
And I wasn't just doing like, like tiny jumps. I was doing crazy shit nonstop.
Of course, man. And that's really important that you spoke on that. And it's one of the reasons why I wanted to have you on here. So if you could just talk about that, like how often you stretch every day and how often you lift every day. Because I think maintenance is something that a lot of younger kids overlook. They just take for granted that we're young and we can flip instantly.
Yeah.
As you get older, you have to warm up, cool down. So talk about that, because I think it'd be very cool to come out of someone like your mouth.
So when I was younger, I wasn't really warming up, but I still was stretching every day though, because I used to have like, what do you call it, the split
machine.
But I used to go down like sitting on like benches or everything. You know what I mean? So I used to have like minus split or whatever you call it.
Yeah, the oversplits.
Yeah, that's what I used to have. So yeah, I loved it. Like, it's just like you feel better when you stretch. Like, you just feel better. Like,
and so can you still do the splits right now? Are you pretty close?
Right now, nah, just because I was away for 2 months and I wasn't doing anything, to be honest. I was working out, like, but not as often, because I really felt like I needed a rest, because before I left LA last time, I was working out 4 times a day and also like filming some stuff for my Instagram. So I definitely overtrained and like I just got really tired. So I took this as my rest, but I still was working out like 3 times a week.
Okay, and when you're stretching, how long do you stretch for at a time?
For 40 minutes at least, but usually it's just like an hour or more. But it depends like what I'm doing and where I am at the moment. Like I do it at home all the time. Just like when I wake up, I feel like, oh, I'm super stiff. I need to stretch. So I stretch and then I feel like a human again.
Okay, hell yeah.
So yeah.
I think that it's a really crucial thing, and I don't think it's a coincidence that people like you and Pasha stretch, and you're still able to do all of these hard impacts and still maintain over time. So, okay, and then let's talk a little bit about like your maintenance, because like we talked about your figure and your jack. How often do you cross train, and like what do you do in order to cross train besides parkour training? Do you lift weights? Do you do body weight training?
So yeah, I do everything just because. When I do weightlifting, as I said before, I just get big. So I do it for a little time, let's say for like a month or maybe like 2 to 3 weeks, whatever. Okay. And then I feel like I started getting bigger. So I have to start mostly running and just doing some body weight workout, like lots of reps. And loads of reps.
That's crazy. That's crazy. And so right now that you're back in Los Angeles, is it something that you'll do every single day now that you're back on the grind?
I'm already. The only day I missed it was yesterday, but we went to that cliff diving place and we had to like hike for like 3 hours or 4 hours.
So you got to work out.
I worked out, so I was like, that's good enough.
That's awesome, man. All right, and then another major question I got to ask along the lines of the maintenance and the conditioning is. Do you have any, like, over the years of parkour and stuff, do you have any, like, long-standing injuries or anything that's, like, taking you out? Or do you think the maintenance has really allowed you to just keep going all these years?
Yeah, I guess it just allows me to keep going. The only injury I have right now isn't even an injury. I guess it's just, like, overtraining on my foot.
We kind of talked about this, yeah. I think that he has plantar fasciitis, but...
Probably do.
He's like, I wake up some days and I just can't walk. Like, that's not normal. So we're going to get my man some foot stretches since he stretches everything else. Yeah. That's awesome, man. Well, really quick, like, I got to take us back down memory lane really quick because I kind of want to talk about another part of your life. And the first time I ever met you was 2011 Red Bull Art of Motion London, which in my opinion is still the biggest Art of Motion ever held. That was
crazy. Every time when I'm in London right now and I walk by bridge, there, I'm like, what the hell did you see from here?
Dude,
you know what I mean? Like, people were on the bridge.
I remember standing on the stage and looking out and being like, this is the biggest crowd I've seen in my life, dude. It was crazy. Paul, can you pull up his 2011 run? And so this was a Red Bull Art of Motion held at the National Theatre in London. The comp started at the very top. And was this your first Art of Motion?
Yeah, it was.
It was, yeah. Okay, so this was your first Art of Motion. And I remember people were like, who the hell is this crazy dude? Because what was different for your style, for those of you that can't see right now, is that
just walking and doing
exactly,
and that. Well, I didn't know the rules. I didn't know shit about it. People tried to explain that to me. And I'm like, I don't speak English.
And that's what I always wanted to ask you was like, did you purposely do this? So what's different on your style now than what I see you in competitions now? Is back in the day here, you do a single trick. And you would stop and then like hype the crowd up, then do another big trick.
Because back then I didn't know the rules, so nobody really explained that to me. They're like, "Oh yeah, you need to move." I'm like, "What do you mean I need to move?" It doesn't really make sense.
It doesn't make sense.
You know,
you're just in your mind. You're like, "Let me just do a bunch of these tricks." Yeah. I can't believe you didn't kick the bar on the backswing there.
Yeah, I had to look back.
So insane.
I had to look back so I don't kick it.
Bro. But yeah, here's what's funny, man. In my opinion, I loved the fact that you did that. I love that style because no one to this date had gone out to a competition and really tried to play to the crowd. It was kind of like part of like parkour unspoken rule that everyone's just like very calm and like they just go out, they do their run, at the end they just wave. You were like, Kong Gainer, what's up, bitches?
Well, that's the thing. I'm not shy.
Yes.
And I never. People actually hated me for that.
Yes, they did, and that's why I want to talk about this. And it's because you didn't know the rules, though.
Yeah, I didn't know the rules. I didn't know shit. I just went there and I was like, oh, that's fun. Look how many people are in here. I'm like, I was so excited. And then it was funny how everyone got super nervous. Like, everyone. People were actually crying. I was like, what the hell? The only two dudes that weren't scared or didn't give a fuck, it was me and Ryan Doyle.
Yeah,
me and Ryan Doyle actually started battling each other. We were just like doing some tricking before our runs, bro.
Everyone else is nervous.
Everyone else were nervous. They were dying.
Yeah. And so that's why I wanted to clear the air, is because you're right. After that competition, you didn't have a bad rep, but there were definitely some people that were like, should we invite this guy Erik? He's just a cocky bastard. And I was like, guys, that was the coolest shit I ever seen in a free running competition, because everyone else bores me, you know? Like, I get bored watching 24 guys. I want a guy that lands and is like, what's up? You know? So, yeah, but it was because you just didn't know the format.
Yeah, literally didn't know anything.
And obviously everything we're saying to you sounds crazy because you didn't speak English.
It was way too fast for me. I just couldn't understand anything. But then back then I knew probably maybe 20 words in English.
I was going to say, man, your English is so goddamn good now, because I mean, even at the end of that, when I went up to you and I was probably like, congratulations, and you probably were like, yeah,
probably, or like, yes, or like just walk away.
Yeah, man, that's wild. So that was your first Red Bull Art of Motion. And then take us through, like, I know you've done way too many competitions to do the list through your head, but do you remember any of the other ones that you have won or competed in? Because I know at one point, correct me if I'm wrong, there was a time in Russia where they kind of started paying you or asking you to judge because they didn't want you to compete, right?
Yeah, so they paid me more than the prize money was for the first place. I was like, oh, I want to come and compete. They're like, no, come and judge. I'm like, no. They're like, please come and judge. No, I can't. I want to compete. Like,
I need to make the money, yeah.
Yeah, they're like, we're going to pay you more than the prize. Like, okay. And then they also paid for my flights and my hotel. I was like, oh, yeah, okay.
It's because they didn't want you to compete all the time.
Just because, so in Russia it's a bit different because everyone has to fly themselves like to whatever the competition is.
Yeah, to enter it, yeah.
So it's kind of like annoying when they know that I'll be there.
One guy's going to win.
Yeah. So it's, I get it, but then it's actually kind of bad for me.
Yeah, that
like,
sucks
I didn't
for
like
you.
It. Like, it wasn't nice. I love competing. It's fun. I always loved it. I loved it when I was fighting.
Yes.
I always loved it. It's cool.
I was going to say, it for you.
I love winning, I guess that's
why. Yeah, like I was going to say, you probably love winning more than you realize, but like inherently it's just a part of you, which is cool though, because for a lot of people, parkour is a very non-competitive sport. For a lot of people.
Well, bro, like, to be honest, I could never understand that. It pisses me off. So, you know how that worked? Like, I've been doing it for way too many years.
Yeah.
Like, when I started, it wasn't exist.
Yes.
And then
there was no name for it.
Suddenly started telling me, like, oh, you're not doing parkour, this school this, like, you're not doing that, you have to be this way. I'm like, what the fuck are you? You can tell me what I have to do. Like, you don't know me. Like, I don't know. It just always pisses me off. Like, all those rules they created, like, oh, parkour isn't free running. Like, we just do, kongs and stuff. But it's just because you can't fucking flip. That's true. Always thought about those people that way, and I always will. Yes. And still, like, they're like, oh, we don't do flips, and they still fucking do. At least, like, in a gym, like, oh, today I tried to be a free runner or something, and just like trying to do some flips, like really cricket ones. I'm like, here we go. I always thought that way, and people will hate me for this now. But like, it's true though.
It's honestly, even Paul's over here like clapping and applauding you, man. Because at the end of the day, like, yeah, you're right. Like for you just see it as movement.
Yeah.
You don't see titles, you don't see boxes, you don't see categories. You just want to move and do what you want to do. Okay. So over the years then that you've competed, I've seen you do some crazy ones, man. Is there a competition in your mind that stands out? Is there a memorable one, or is there any
One of them is actually the Chinese one, the biggest course they ever built. You know that one?
The downwards one. That one was crazy.
So I saw pictures of it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I saw pictures. I was like, I have to be really ready. And I was actually training really hard. I mean, wasn't jumping, doing parkour at
Yeah.
all. I was just working out and doing legs non-stop, like
Yeah.
running and doing legs. That's what I was doing before the
So
competition.
before you went there, you knew what it was going to be, kind of.
Kinda, yeah. I knew
Okay.
it was gonna be like a really big course.
Really
so they
quick.
said it's gonna be big course.
Is there a video on your YouTube of you doing it or no?
No.
No?
I
Okay.
believe there is a clip on my Instagram though, like
Yo,
for
if,
sure.
if not, keep telling your story, Paul. Can you just try to pull up like Kaylin Chan's run? I
Yeah.
think Kaylin Chan has a run just to look at it.
So yeah, when I went there and saw it in real life, and when we walked the first part, because we walked upstairs, on the stairs.
So you had to walk up it.
we
How
had-
long does
yeah,
it take
the first-
to walk up it?
It took us half an hour, bro. I mean, we were stopping, but it still took us half an hour. And then I was like, when we walked the first half, I was like, I guess that's what I'm gonna die. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna be able to go the whole course down.
Oh my
But, yeah.
god! So did you have to walk up it every single
Oh
time?
no! Before the
Okay.
competition, we had the escalators.
Okay,
but
okay.
we had to walk up when
But
we
the
were
first
just practicing
time
and
was
stuff, yeah.
just holy crap. Okay, and for you to say a course is crazy, it must be crazy. What was so crazy about it? Was it the angle? Was it the length of it?
The length of it was crazy, and like there were loads of drops and stuff because fucking Dom about to
He
build
helped
that
design
course.
it, I
He
know.
designed that. Of course, it was so many drops and stuff.
The man with the iron
It was
legs.
crazy, but I went there. It was funny that so I loved it and I hate that competition. Like I
Okay.
hated it just because I don't know. I feel like because I won, everyone is actually hating on me even more, which was kind of unreal. I don't know.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
no one even knew that I won it.
No.
I didn't just win it. I won both categories.
You won
I
the skills also? Or I mean, you won the freestyle also.
I won freestyle as well. Yeah.
No way.
I was
didn't
the
know
only
you
one
won-
who didn't even practice my run on freestyle.
I didn't know you won freestyle. I knew you won the speed.
Yeah. So I won freestyle as well. I went there for speed.
Okay.
So everyone was practicing their freestyle runs the day before. I was like, oh, I'm not gonna do that because I have to run that thing tomorrow. You
save
know what I
your
mean?
legs.
I don't want to kill my legs, so I didn't do that at all. I was just sitting there helping, like, I helped Kira a bit, like just like to
Yeah, put their
design
runs
his run.
together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like Alfred Scott and everything. Yeah, I didn't create any runs, and then I only had after the speed. They gave us like an hour or something. But I was like so mentally destroyed just because I was super tired and stuff. And I was like, I'm not gonna practice my freestyle run right now. I just want speed. Like
dead.
I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah.
And then I was like, if they're gonna give us some time tomorrow, then I'll compete. If not, then I already have money.
Yeah.
I won speed. You know, that was like a
Exactly.
big money prize. So I was like, I'm fine. And then the next day they gave us 15 minutes. Me and Salgado walked through, and we just like thought about my run in my head. Like I didn't practice anything. There was only one thing I practiced. And that's it, like just falling over the wall.
Oh, the sit back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's it. The only thing I practiced.
That's
Nothing
the
else.
only thing
The
you
only thing I tried. Nothing else, bro. Didn't try cone gainers or anything like that. Just that.
You know what's funny though? I'm not surprised from the guy that entered a kickboxing competition after one day.
And won it.
I'm not surprised that you didn't warm up and you won that, dude. That's crazy, man. Well, congratulations on that,
Yeah,
man. That's
thank you.
nuts. And then I also know that most recently you had the opportunity to compete as part of the
FIG.
the FICE World competitions. Yeah, and how did that go?
Oh, I won FICE. When I went there, I won both categories as well.
I
one
couldn't have
in
asked a better
Saudi,
question. That
one
was
in
the best
Saudi,
question
I
of
just
all
won it.
time.
I went there for speed again. I didn't practice my freestyle as always, bro.
And this is Saudi Arabia, right?
Saudi Arabia, yeah. So I
so
went
you-
there for speed, and my finger, you know how I told you that my finger got infected, and I had that surgery. They had to cut it in
Yeah.
like 3 different places. So when I went there, and the first day I started practicing, my finger opened. So I was like, oh, I guess I can't practice, so I didn't practice.
Because your fingers are
Because my finger was bleeding. I was like, all right, I'll stop.
That's
So I
crazy.
stopped, and then everyone had 3 runs, so you could try it 3 times,
Yeah.
and then you would get your best time out of 3.
Okay.
And I was just like, what the hell? So I did it only once, every single one. And
You
I
just
won it.
risked it and said, "I know it's good enough."
Well, I was last because
okay,
I won the qualifiers.
You were seated last
Yeah, yes.
because
Yeah, because
so
I-
you could sit back and
Yeah,
say,
yeah,
"Okay, I gotta
yeah.
beat this."
So that happened. I
Right.
just did it once.
Well,
And then Salgado took 2 attempts, I think.
okay.
And then a few more people took a few as well.
Okay, so from someone that has competed on the world stage and you've won all these competitions, a couple questions. First, I was gonna ask you how you prepare, but since you said you didn't even prepare your thing, it's a horrible question to ask now. But I'm gonna ask you, like, what enters your mind before competition? Do you visualize what you're gonna
I
do?
visualize, yeah.
Do you get nervous at all? And what goes through your mind right before you start?
So usually I never get nervous. As I said, even at that Red Bull Art of Motion, it was like the biggest crowd I ever seen in my life too. It was crazy, but I didn't get nervous. I was fine.
Cool.
Because usually I don't care. I don't care what people think about me. Like I have my own opinion and stuff like that, so I don't really care. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I do care what my friend think about me and stuff like that, but not more than that, I guess.
Okay.
But lately it's been harder for some reason. I guess just because you think about what people expect from you. You know what I mean? That kind of like gets into your mind too.
That's gonna be tough.
I still don't really care. Like I'm not getting too nervous, but like right now, like I do think about it quite a bit, but not too much. I don't know. It's hard to explain, but I do visualize everything. Like I visualize every single step and stuff like that. So that's why I was really upset when this time I made a mistake by not like controlling my feet. So like I had to step on the rail with the wrong foot, and that's why I like pretty much lost.
Wow.
Like I believe, because this time I was the most prepared I ever been, like almost at least. I was super prepared. I was super strong and fast. My legs and everything. My body was just super strong. And then I lost and I was like, oh, that was upsetting.
So, go ahead.
And I also practiced the run. Like I was practicing quite a lot. I was
so
running.
You actually felt ready. And
but then I was practicing on one side, and then in the finals they put me on the other, which isn't their fault. I'm not blaming anyone. That's just an excuse.
Yeah.
But it was a big part of me, like, you know what I mean? It was a big part of that
It was
mistake.
a change, a variable change,
Because, I stepped on the right side and then I had to step on the left. Which is still my mistake because I had to control my legs, you know what I mean? Like, it's not me being able to control, like, it's me not being able to control my legs. And that kind of upset me.
Okay.
Like, it was hard to go through that.
That's crazy. I can understand, especially from someone competitive. I think I saw that video where you came in at the end, and then when you finished, you got like really pissed at the finish line.
Yeah, I was really pissed. Like, but it's not about like, you know, I was pissed with myself. Like, I wasn't pissed at like the guy that won. I love him. Like, everything is good. Like, I never think about like the guys that are competing. I never think about them as about my opponents. You know what I mean? Like, I'm the only one who I'm competing against every single time I go in a competition.
That's a cool way to think about it. Yeah. So at the end of the day, win or lose, it's just about yourself.
Yeah.
And then if you win, it's just, hey, I got some money.
Unless there are some people like I really want to beat sometimes. I'm like, oh, I want to beat you. To be honest, like
is it because they're good or
because of what they say or because people think they're good or stuff like that.
Okay. So there is like a real sense of competition in some sense. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So you know Johandu.
Yeah.
This time I went to this competition just with the thought to beat him.
Really?
He's gonna hate me for that, but it's true.
No, but I think it's you may say that, but like I think that it kind of like I don't want kids to think that you need to like go out there and be competing with other kids, but in my personal opinion, I think that rivalries are really good for sports, and they're what has driven some of the sports that become the biggest in the world is because of rivalries, whether it's a team rivalry or like an interpersonal rivalry, you know, between who's the best basketball player, or like who's the best soccer team.
Well, like I don't really care about him. I mean, like I like him. He's a cool dude.
Of course.
Like I didn't like go there with like, you know, like with hate. Yeah. I just wanted to beat him. Like, that's it. Because he's good. Everyone knows that he's good, and everyone always says that he's the fastest. So it's a good competition, and I like it. So I wanted to
100%.
take that chance. And
the best way to measure yourself is to put yourself against the best.
Yeah.
And that's the clearest way to do it. All right. No, that's really cool, man. So the last thing that I kind of want to like, it's not the last thing, but like the next thing I kind of want to move into is like, you're out here now in LA, right?
Yeah.
And you're kind of, you're out here just throwing down, in my opinion, the craziest goddamn clips online every single day that I've seen, man. So like, really quick, how long have you been out here in LA for?
Like, all in total, maybe like 4 months or something.
Okay.
Maybe a bit less, I don't know.
That's not too long
something
at all.
About that.
Considering that's how many clips I've seen in 4 months, that's insane.
But it's crazy. Me and Pasha spoke about it yesterday because, so we put our planks way too high. You know what I mean? They're way too high.
Yeah.
And now we're like, we don't really want to film anything easy. Like,
I
know what I mean? You're like, oh no, I don't want to do that. And then me and Pasha is like, oh, it's like, what the hell? Like, it's a good clip anyway. Just do that. I'm like, no, I'll just do something harder.
It's kind of like you talked about in competition. People expect a certain level from you.
Yeah.
And so you have to like really.
Now I feel like I expect more from myself too. So every time I want to do something, I'm just like, no, I know I can do it better. And then if I do something easier than I can, I'm just not happy with myself.
Wow, that's crazy. Okay.
Yeah.
So when you're out here in LA, and like I kind of talked to Pasha about this and I got his perspective on it, but I want to get your perspective. When you go out and you film these clips, do you have in your mind already the move you're going to do for the day? Or are you thinking, I just want to go out for the day, let's see what happens?
We don't really know where we're going even. Like, we're just like scouting around. Like yesterday, no, or the day before, we spent 3 hours walking around and we just couldn't find anything. I mean, we found a couple of spots.
Okay.
And there were things to do, but first we walked for 3 hours.
And you didn't see anything cool.
Yeah, and we were really tired, so we didn't bother to like start training and trying something. We're just like, oh, that's not way too cool. Like, that's not too cool, so we just like walked past it.
And what constitutes being cool for you at this point in your life? Is it like a new challenge? Is it a farther distance? Is it something
It's
that's
hard
tricky?
to explain. Something weird, like something that never been done before, like something like that only me and Pasha can think of. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like something, I don't know. Just it's just different.
Something different.
Something
yeah.
different, yeah.
Okay.
Like even the location doesn't really matter what I do there. You know what I mean? Just the location. If it looks really different.
Yeah, if it's unique or something.
Yeah. So I'll just do something there.
Okay. Yo, Paul, can you try to pull up some of these clips at the bottom here? All right, let's pull up this first one right here. The one-arm kip. So some of these are just like some of your like more recent stuff, right?
Yeah, that was when I just arrived. Yeah, the first day.
This is you just got back in town the other day, right?
Yeah. After not training for 2 months.
So I have a question. Let's go back to that list, Paul. So of these ones on here, like let's take a look. Some of the things that you've landed most recently. You got triple flyaway, the ab flip, the upside down cast, the headstand cast. Go to the upside down cast. So like a move like this is something that like I've never seen before.
Oh yeah.
So how do you get the inspiration for this? Like how did you think of this?
So we were training at Tempest like ages ago. I think it was January or December.
Okay.
And I was like, do you think I can double this? And Pasha went, I don't think so. And then I did double it. The same thing happened with the...
It's so simple in your brain.
That was so funny. Okay, about the headstand.
Yeah, go to the
castaway.
headstand one, yeah.
That was so funny. So one night, I just told that to Pasha. Like, we were at the Graf house, and I told him, like, I think that was like 2 a.m. or something like that.
Okay.
And I told him that I want to do that. And he started laughing at me so much. He was just like, that's no way, you're going to die. He got me pissed. I was like, yo, I started doing headstands in the room. I was like, look, that's possible. Look, I can bounce off my head. That's going to work. He was like, no way. Next day, he told that to Z. Flip like Z. Yeah. So he started laughing at me too. He's like, that's impossible. That's just not going to happen. That's just not going to happen. I went to the gym that same day, and I did it like that. The first try, I over-rotated it straight away. And they were like, what the hell? Both of them tried it, and that was super easy for them too. And they're like, oh, shit.
It's doable.
It's doable. And then, yeah, the next day I went out and I tried to film this. I got kicked out from the guard tower, like a tower, I think 3 times or something.
What moves was it for? For
this headstand.
For the headstand?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
So, what makes you even think of like, okay, I'm gonna do a headstand? Is it just you're thinking outside of the box? Like, how can I make a move different? Or are you?
It's just random stuff. Like, it's just like clicks sometimes. I think this one happened because I wanted to do it ages ago. So I did it off one arm.
Yes,
like maybe
I remember.
In 2011, I believe, like off one arm. And then I was like, oh, I want to do it off my head. And then I just never got into it.
Just waited for the time.
Yeah, I guess. And then I bought all the pads and stuff like that, and then I had a helmet, so I was like, oh, let's play around with it. So we started playing around with it, and I was like, oh, that's the time to do it.
No way.
Yeah.
So I have a question. What is the move you're most proud of? Is there one? Is there a move that you've landed, or was there one that it took the longest to land? Because that's ridiculous that you went into the gym and did it first try and then did it outside the next day.
Well, I'm proud of me learning air flares. Because I spent 4 years learning them. That's like the hardest move for me for some reason.
Oh
like,
my God.
It took me way too long. But also like it wouldn't take me 4 years because when I first started, I didn't even see it. Like I never saw it on like a video or anywhere. Someone just told me, oh, you can do whatever. What do you call it?
It's like handstand walking. It's
yeah. They're like, oh, you can do it without legs. I'm like, whoa, what?
Wow.
So I tried and it just didn't work. I tried with both arms first, like jumping from both to both.
No way.
Yeah, it just didn't work. I was like, God damn it.
So air flares was the hardest thing to learn.
It took me 4 years.
That's, you know what's funny is I can attest to that because I tried to learn air flares. It's hard as shit, man. It's all just timing and technique, really. It's crazy. And so How did you learn air flares, and who taught you, or did you just learn on your own?
No one taught me. I saw flying steps. That's the first clip I saw. I think in a year after I started learning them, I saw.
But you had no other b-boys to help you out, or
no? I was the best b-boy in my city, like in my little.
Dude, the reason I ask you that is because like I've seen you breakdance. I've seen you do like 10 flares on the ground. How many air flares can you do?
My record was 20, but right now I can probably do like 7, 10.
Your record was 20?
Yeah, but when I was training breakdance.
What was your record for flares, like normal flares?
20 as well, but I just didn't go. Like I didn't keep going. Just 20.
And you just learned on your own?
Yeah. But actually it was a funny story how I learned my flares. So I could always do like 1.5 or 2.
Yeah.
And then I did 3 like a couple of times, and I was super proud of it. And then I went to see like a b-boys performance on the stage once, and they saw me in the crowd and they called me. They're like, "Oh, come up with me," and they're just like, "Do a performance with us." I was like, "Oh, okay, cool." And so I did it on stage, and I did 9 that day on the stage. And I was like, "What the hell did just happen?" Came back to my little town, whatever. Came back there, told that to my friend. He was like, "No way, that's just not true. That couldn't happen." I was like, "I swear to God, let's go. I'll try again." So we went out and we started doing it, and that day both of us did 17.
What?
Yeah.
So you went from doing 3, you went on stage, did 9
and
went back and did 17.
And that was my record for a long, long time. I couldn't do more than that.
Yo, hashtag Russia, dog. Team Russia for the win. That is crazy, man. Holy crap, dude. That's one of the craziest things I've ever heard, man.
Yeah.
That's wild. So if you're not proud of a certain move, I got to ask this. Is there a move on your bucket list you're chasing still? Because I asked Z this, and Z back in the day had 5 moves. He had like a list of moves, and he's nailed like 3 of them. He has like 2 left.
I think he already did that triple flyaway. That was.
I think there's one last one he's trying to do, which is the. Do you remember?
I
think handstand double
gainer.
I think that's the one. Handstand double gainer is the last one.
Well,
do you?
I don't plan like that. Like I don't really think about moves like that. Like maybe back in the days I used to, but right now they're just moves for me.
Okay.
Like I don't really even spend much time learning something right now. I can just like lay down on my bed and just think about it. Like I literally train in my head. Like that's how I train most of the time right now. Just sit there and think about moves.
You're at that point though.
Yeah.
No,
it's been that way for a while though.
I agree though, but and I laugh and it's funny, but like I use visualization a lot myself, and it's only funny because it's something that I'm not at that level at with you, which you're at such an extreme level with free running and parkour that you can visualize that. For me, it's like fight choreography. I can just sit back and think like, okay, oh, that's how we do it. That's cool. I got it. But for you put in all this time that for you now, all the years and hours in the gym, you can now just sit back and just use the most powerful muscle, which is your brain. All right. So for a lot of the kids out here that watch your clips, the majority of them are outside at Venice Beach on the concrete doing that stuff. How often do you train inside of gyms, and do you think it's important to split up the time? Is it useful to use indoor training, or do you think it's...
It is definitely useful. So we go to the gym sometimes just to like try some new stuff. Like me and Pasha always do that. Okay. Like before I did that headstand gainer, headstand castaway, whatever. So I went to the gym and tried there first because, well, I probably would try it outside. Like most of the time I don't really mind trying new stuff outside, but then sometimes I still need like foam pit or something like that.
Yeah, okay.
Just to be sure that it's gonna work.
Okay. And are you doing that mostly just from a safety perspective to make sure you don't break yourself off?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
I can't let myself break myself right now. Like
it's too valuable, right?
It's too valuable for sure. Yeah.
I was gonna ask you though, is there any fear involved at all before you try a new trick? I know you don't get scared before competitions at all, but do you ever get scared when you're outside about to do a trick?
No, I have some weird shit about my fear. Like, I don't really have it. Like, I just don't have it. I don't know.
I don't think that's weird, man. That's why I'm asking you. I think it's what makes you very, very special, you know? Yeah, I think that's part of what makes you special. And has it always been that way? Were you ever scared at all as a kid?
It was always that way for some reason. But, like, so... My mother took me to the hospital once, and there was like a professor or something. So he told me just because my pain tolerance is either really high or really low, so I don't feel pain much.
It's high. You have a high pain tolerance.
So I don't really feel pain much. That's why I'm not scared of stuff, because it doesn't really hurt me as much.
Wow. Okay. That's crazy, man. And so along the lines of you trying all these new things, has there been anything that's gone like super wrong? I know you've had like a couple of funny bails. I remember there was one time, they've all been like minor ones from what I've seen. Like I remember seeing the flyaway full bail in Vegas.
That was crazy.
Yeah,
I wasn't even drunk, bro. I didn't drink anything that day.
Try to pull. I think it's on the list. Look for the flyaway full bail. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, Vegas fail.
Yeah, okay, that's the one, yeah.
So when something like this happens, this blew my mind because I was in Vegas with you and I saw this and I'm like, you fell?
Yeah, I know.
When something like this happens, what went wrong? Did you just not think fully? Did you just like
didn't think at all.
Okay.
And like that's such an easy move for me.
That's what I'm curious. I had to ask you this so kids out here see like you're human.
Yeah.
When something like this happens, like just a little mental lapse, or I don't know. What do you think happened?
I don't know. Like I guess just didn't think enough, or maybe like a weird sit up or something.
Okay.
I don't know. It was just really weird. I was just like, whoa. I was shocked. You can see it on my face. Just look at it. I'm like, whoa.
The best part is though is that fall could have probably taken a normal kid out of the game for a month or two. You just bounced back up and you competed the next day.
I also was drinking the whole night before that competition.
And
I slept for.
And what
for
place
2
did you
hours.
get?
First.
I know because I was the MC. One of the many times I've announced you as the winner of an event.
But I actually was shocked that I got the first place because so they put me first. I had to run first. I'm in the speed competition.
Yeah.
And then I was super tired. I was just sitting back there. They were like, and the winner. And I definitely didn't think that was me because I was super tired and I didn't like my run. I was stumbling in the way and stuff like that. So I was like, oh, that's not happening. So I was just on my phone and they just announced my name and I'm like, am I tripping?
You're like,
what?
That's my name.
Yeah.
I know
like,
that.
Okay, cool. That was actually impressive. I was like,
That's
that was
awesome,
cool. I was
man.
pretty proud of myself.
That's crazy. All right, now I got to ask about this one because this one's in the gym, the bar fail.
Oh, yeah.
So this
here
is
we
you. Was this, this isn't a new move. You've done this move, right?
Yeah. So that's not what I wanted, though.
Okay,
so now I'll explain
talk us
what
through
actually
this.
happened.
Yes, please explain this.
So before I went there, that was like one day before I had to leave for that competition.
Yes,
I was
it
like,
was.
I'm not gonna train today. Like I'm way overtrained. I'm super sore. Like everything is actually just dying. It's not even tired. It's
So you were
super-
going to
it's just
rest
dying.
right
Yeah,
before.
I needed to rest, and I was like, I'm not gonna do anything hard. And then I don't know, like some kind of magnet, I guess, pulled me to the bar. And the first thing I asked is, do you want to try quad? He's like, what?
Quad flyaway.
No, like quad flyaway.
Yeah.
He's like, no. I'm like, okay, so I'll try something else. And then I was like, oh, there's a move I wanted to try. So I wanted to actually try it outside. So happy I didn't. So I wanted to go over the bar and then kick the bar and then do a backflip. So basically what I just did, but I wanted to kick the bar. But then when I went over, you can see me looking at the bar, and I saw it was
my
right under me.
God. So you tucked.
So I knew I was gonna hit it,
Yeah.
and I didn't want to hit it open. So otherwise, I would just break my back.
So that's why you
So I was
tucked.
like, I'll just tuck and I'll stay strong as much as I
So
can.
you were trying to fly away over the bar, kick the bar,
kick
and then
the
do
bar
the
and
second
then
flip.
backflip. Yeah.
Holy
Like
shit.
here, I was
yeah,
supposed
you were
to
supposed
kick
to
it.
kick the bar
yeah,
there.
but then I saw it was under me. So my feet, like, look, they were like over the bar like that. I was like, oh, there's no way I'm kicking it.
I'm
then because I'm screwed. So I knew I was gonna kick it, like hit it with something.
Oh my god.
So I had to tuck. I knew I was hitting myself. So here I'm like, I'm gonna be in pain already. Like I know it's happening, but I just didn't know how hard it's gonna be.
And what did you hit? You hit your
I
back?
hit my upper back, yeah. But yeah, I have like a few photos. I can show you them later.
And what?
My back was huge back then because I was working out.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
saved me. Like
I
I
was
really
gonna
believe
say.
I was so lucky that I was strong because I would break my spine for sure.
Yeah, if you didn't have all the muscles protecting it.
Because they definitely protect all of it.
So what happened? Did you have any soreness? Were you
The
hurt?
next day I went and did Murph. You know what it is,
Yeah,
right?
of course.
That workout.
Yeah,
and
of
I got
course.
the fastest time in the gym, in the
No
CrossFit gym.
way. So you totally walked away okay?
Well, it was sore.
Your neck was
It
sore. Your back was sore.
Not my neck, my back. My back was really sore. It was actually sore even by the time I went to the competition. Like,
That's crazy.
Yeah.
All right, then the last one I got to ask about. Pull up the last one, the tour one.
oh my god,
So this is probably the biggest bail I've seen of you.
that's probably the biggest bail I ever had in my life.
Yeah. So walk us
That
through
was
this.
crazy.
What happened? You were on the Jesse LaFleur tour. This
Yeah.
is
So
the Flair Parkour tour.
yeah, so we went to that river or whatever that was, or like a lake or something.
Yeah.
And I saw that bridge, and the first thing I said, I'm going in from the top. And that was the first thing I did. So I climbed up and I did double gainer from the top. I didn't even check how deep it was, nothing. I just climbed up And there were some people that were down there, and I was like, "Do you think it's deep?" They're like, "We can actually measure it." They had some kind of laser on their boat.
To
So
see.
they measured it. They're like 14 meters. I'm like, "Can you move your boat?" So they moved the boat, and I just flew there from doing a double gainer. And then I did like gainer full in and stuff like that. I did
just
many
all your
crazy
normal
tricks.
stuff.
Yeah, so much. And then when I wanted to jump from the bus,
Yes.
I didn't even think it was gonna be hard. Like I was like, oh, it's just gonna be one flip. It's super easy for me. Like, you know, like every time when I over rotate this trick, I can just full twist at the end, and I never over rotated it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But here, because I had that sideways
Moving.
force, that move, I just couldn't twist. I couldn't do shit.
No way.
And then look what happened after. So I hit myself, started laughing in the water, got out, started thinking, oh, my lungs are pretty fucked. Like I winded myself pretty badly. So I started swimming, and then I started thinking, why did I do it drunk? And I was like, wait, I'm not drunk. Boom.
Your head.
Don't remember anything else.
You hit so hard.
Yeah.
Wow. So you got a concussion for sure.
So I got a concussion, and then I swam from one side to another with a concussion.
What
with being winded, and
Yeah.
then it was crazy.
Was
like,
anyone in the water with you or no?
No.
What?
So I swam there myself.
By yourself?
Got out. Everyone started asking how I was feeling, and I said, "Oh, I'm pretty confused." They're like, "Confused?" I'm like, "Yeah, I need to go back to the water." And I started doing some random shit, like coming back and forth.
You definitely
and
had
they're
a
like,
concussion.
"Oh, you have a concussion."
Oh
They didn't let me sleep
my
that night and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then in like 4 hours or something, I realized that I also like dislocated my collarbone or something.
When you hit
In
the
4
water.
hours, yeah.
Oh my God. So
Like,
do you
I
think
guess
that's the
here-
worst bail you've had?
Yeah, one of them for sure.
Wow.
Concussion, that was pretty bad.
Wow. And it's on camera.
Yeah.
So at
Like
least
all of my bails are pretty much on camera. I think I have like compilation on my Instagram.
Yeah,
Like,
you do. You do have a fail
that-
compilation.
those are all my fails. That's the thing. So my bails, I remember them, like all of them.
Yeah.
But then I watch back Dom's videos, and I'm like, how the hell are you still alive, bro?
Yo, some of Dom's bails are insane
I
to
know.
me. You saw the roof gap one a couple days ago where he lands and his ankles just pop. I'm like, bro.
My Achilles would just give up in life. They would.
100. My ankles would have snapped. My Achilles would have gone. I would have broke my shins. Yeah.
Or did you see the one from that competition? The one that I won in
The China one, dude. He fell from like 3 stories straight to his
Still
face
don't-
and his
to
wrist.
his face. Still
Yeah.
don't get how he's alive. Like
I don't
I
know.
was, that was so crazy. Like I was
It
so
was
far away.
crazy.
I was so far away, but I was the only one who ran there without a camera and tried to actually
To help him. Yeah, yeah.
Because everyone was just like, "Whoa!" filming it. It's like, what the fuck?
You're like, this guy almost
And,
died.
yeah, but also he pissed me off on that competition. At that competition, and I still was the only one who actually ran to him.
No way.
Yeah,
That's
because that was actually a funny story. So, like ages ago in China, we spoke about like our skill level,
yeah.
and then he said something like, "Oh, we actually like we're on the same level."
And you took offense to that.
Yeah, I was like, "No." That's funny. And then he said, "Yeah, but like drops, like whatever, like high drops."
High
are-
drops.
Yeah.
Okay.
It is a skill too. I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
yeah.
100%.
I was like, yeah, but I can do it too. And that's it. And then from then, I guess he took me wrong or something. He took me as if I said like high drops isn't a skill.
Yeah, just
So
a
he
miscommunication.
yeah. So he probably got pissed with me back then. But I don't remember. For me, it was just like funny.
yeah, yeah.
And then on this competition, when I think that was semi-final, I got last and he got first, and I like barely made it to the final because that was annoying. Okay, so I won the qualifiers and I thought I'm gonna go last. So I was just so
You thought
happy.
you were gonna be seated last,
So
like normal.
I did it on purpose. Like I
Yeah.
didn't have to go as fast because
course.
there were 30 people and I think 28 were making it in or something like
Yeah,
that. That was
so you're
something.
like, just get by.
Yeah, but I did run really fast because I wanted to go last or something, like somewhere at the end at least.
Yeah.
And then they put me first, and I was like, wait a moment. Why?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
really annoying.
This
I
is
don't want to go
backwards.
first. That's
Yeah.
really annoying because I wanted to see how fast people will go. Because I know I
course.
can go fast, but I didn't want to kill myself, destroy all that energy. You know what I mean? And then they're like, "Oh, if you don't want to do it, just don't do it." So I'm like, "Fuck it, I'll just do it." And I went pretty slow because I thought I just counted all the people that could make in,
Yeah.
and I was like, "Oh, that's not that many. I'm definitely making it in." So I just like took it really easily, but then. I didn't count those Chinese people that went mental. They went super fast.
They went super
They're
fast.
just like so,
Because you didn't know them.
yeah, I didn't know them, but
You were just counting all the normal names to make the finals.
that I knew, and then I barely made it in, and then Dom got first, And then he came over to me and he went, remember that time in China you said high drops isn't a skill? Suck this, and walked away. I was like, oh shit, I just want to be in the finals. I want to be in the finals. And then like I saw that I made it to the finals and I said to Kira, I'm gonna win. and Kira said, what? I was like, look, I'm going to win this competition right now.
There's no way you're gonna lose at that point.
Yeah, I got so mad.
Dude, that is so funny.
And they put me first again when I got lost. I was like, okay.
So then you just ripped it.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then it was annoying because when we went on the semifinal, no one knew anyone's time, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so it
yeah.
didn't really make sense. But then when I went that fast, someone called them upstairs and
told
them my
them
time.
the times. So then they could try to beat it.
Yeah, that was fucking annoying.
That's
because,
crazy.
Yeah,
But you still won?
yeah, I still did.
That's wild. So really quick, man, you've obviously won all these competitions. You're killing it in so many facets. Is there anybody that you still watch or get inspiration from? Or are you just so focused on yourself and your own progress at this point?
Yeah, I guess it's just like mostly watching myself and like looking what I can improve and stuff like that. But I do watch lots of like Instagram clips.
Okay.
But like, it's kind of annoying that I like seeing your stuff. I like seeing like Pasha's stuff. But sometimes even on your and Pasha's Instagram, there's stuff that I don't want to see. You know what I mean? Like,
Of course.
so-
Other shit, life stuff.
Yeah,
and shit,
yeah. So I'm like, like that's why I don't spend too much time on Instagram.
Totally.
I'm missing a lot. Like I don't go through my feed anymore because I don't want to spend that much time on my Instagram. You know what I mean?
That's
So I
not-
just
that's-
want to
it's
spend
not a
time
bad
doing
thing.
something else. Yeah, I do want to see cool stuff, and most of the time it just happens anyway. So if
Yeah.
there is something super cool, someone will like send it to me or something.
Of course,
like
in a
that.
DM
So,
or something.
Yeah.
You know
but-
what else you could do? Every Monday we have a show called The Jam Breakdown, where we look at the top 30 clips. So every Monday I put out a show just because I got tired of looking through Instagram too.
Yeah.
So every Monday we put out a show where we just look at the top clips, and you're always on every episode. So if you
Yeah.
get those tags, that's what that is in your
Yeah.
DMs.
No,
No, that's
I know
cool,
it
man.
is.
That
I
makes a
watched a
lot of
couple
that
of
makes a
those
lot of
clips.
sense that you just analyze yourself at this point, you know. So no,
Yeah.
that's really cool, man. And then I always ask people this before we head out of here, especially people like you that are, you know, such a figure in the community, which is one, where do you see yourself in 5 years from now? And two, if you still see yourself as like part of this, like, or not part of this, what do you want to be remembered for in the community? You
Remembered
know?
for?
Yeah.
I don't really know what I want to be remembered for. I just don't want to be hated for something that I didn't do or something like that. Like people always hated on me, like every time. Sometimes it's just jealousy. Sometimes
Okay.
they just took me wrong. Like people just don't even know me and then they just like judge me before they meet me. You know what I mean?
100%.
Most of the time that what happens. Like, yeah, I'm really confident. People think I'm cocky. No, I'm just confident. And I wish everyone to be confident. If you're not confident, you just like, you're weak. That's your weakness. You need to be confident in yourself. Otherwise, I don't know, you're just losing your life.
Totally, man. Dude,
So-
I'm super glad. Keep going.
Yeah, in 5 years, I don't know. It depends if I'm still like really flexible and strong. I want to keep doing this. I love it.
Okay.
I believe I think when I'm 70, I still be able to do like double fly away from the bar for sure. But I don't know how often I will be training in like 5 or 10 years. I think in 5 years I'll still be training a lot.
Okay.
But in 10 years, I don't know. Maybe just like coordinating and stuff because, yeah, I love stunts.
Yeah,
I love
totally.
doing it.
And I
guess
know-
just coordinating and stuff.
I know that recently you even had the chance to be a part of a show here in America called $1 Million
Oh,
Mile.
yeah,
It was
yeah.
produced by LeBron James, and you were like a character on there as one of the guys. But do you have any short or long-term career goals that you're trying to do with your movement or your body right now, or are you just gonna enjoy LA and?
I'm just gonna enjoy LA. It's hard for me. I never really plan because it's hard to plan. When you plan, you just get disappointed after it doesn't happen.
I got you.
So you just don't plan and you just go with the flow and it's just whatever happens. I just live as if it's my last day. That's
Yeah.
what I'm trying to do now, especially like after I had like a really weird part of my life, like recently, like I was just like really down and stuff. Like I just got really confused in life and stuff like that. So after that time, now I'm just enjoying myself and enjoying life.
Hell yes.
Doesn't matter what happens, just everything is fun for me.
I think that's really impactful, man. And I'm really glad that you got to come by here, man. One of the reasons I wanted to have you on here is because I do think that you're probably one of the most, I don't know, I think that you're probably one of the people that people are most confused about, because from the outside you look like this very strong, just crazy imposing figure, but like I've honestly laughed the most during this episode of any episode we've done so far, and I knew that was gonna happen, and that's why I wanted people to see like the other side of Erik, the insane parkour and free running.
They still will
machine.
see something bad about me. It always happens. So there will be comments that I'm like a dickhead or something.
No, but I'm glad that we got to clear up a lot of the things, because you know, for example, the Red Bull Art of Motion, when people thought you were cocky for walking around, you didn't know the format. You know, and I think another thing that people take for granted is like, dude, it's very impressive to me, and I have to give you all the congratulations in the world on your English and your ability to have a conversation with me. When I met you,
thank you, bro.
8-9 years ago, we couldn't say more than hi. I couldn't even ask you where you were from.
Yeah, I know.
You know, and like to see guys like you and Pasha not only continue to push the levels of parkour and free running, but also like push your brain.
Yeah,
by
we
learning,
always say
you know?
that you know, like most of the Russian athletes, they can like strong Russian athletes.
Yeah.
They can just stop training for 5 years and just start learning English or like something like that. We always say that. Like 100%. We say that to Titarenko all the time. We're like, bro, you don't need to train anymore. You just stop and learn English, or like, you know, like learn how to communicate.
When he won the Red Bull Art of Motion, the last one, Pasha had to come up and translate for him. When we were at the after party, he literally pulled him aside and said, "Hey man, the next thing you need to do, learn English."
Yeah, of course.
Because like you're gonna have so many closed doors if you don't learn English.
Yeah.
You might as well learn English, man.
Yeah.
So
I
props
want to learn
you
Spanish
guys.
now, just because I want to train my brain. But then I'm just afraid that I'll lose it. Like if I'll learn it and won't be able to speak it to anyone, I'll just lose it, because that what was happening to me with English. So when I was going to Russia for like 2 months or something, coming back was pretty hard. Like,
It's a little hard, yeah.
Right now it doesn't matter, because I think in English, I watch movies in English. It doesn't matter for how long I'm away, I'm still speaking English pretty well.
That's crazy, man. Well, super impressive to me, man. I can't even imagine going to another place and learning a full language, let alone like still keeping up my training and stuff. So you're a special dude, man.
Thanks,
and
bro.
I really appreciate you coming by and sharing your story, dog.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me. It was super cool.
Hell yeah, man. So real quick before we get out of here, man, can you just look into that camera, bring the mic in front of you, and then just tell them where they can follow you online. Tell them your Instagram.
All right. You can follow me on Instagram. It's Erik Freerun. Boom.
Boom. Hell yes, man. And as always, guys, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe for brand new videos each and every week. Join us every Monday for brand new jam breakdowns, and every Friday for brand new Jamcast, where we interview influential members of the movement community like Mr. Erik Mukhametshin himself. So as always, guys, I got to give a special shout out to Mr. Paul Whitecotton for running the cameras. We got to give a very special shout out to our guest, Mr. Erik Mukhametshin. And as always, guys, I'm your host, Travis Wong. Thanks for joining us here on another Jamcast. Until next time, we'll see you all soon. Peace.